my god, what did I just go through? What did I just put us through? Wait a minute. We didn't even go through that. That was all me. But it wasn't all me. It was like everyone in the fucking world just went through this crazy feat of split ends of consciousness that I just went through. But no one would have any fucking idea what I'm talking about. It's something that is like only real to me. Even though I just went through it with like the entire universe. It's just like waking up from a dream. It's just like that. And wanting to go and talk to all those people you just dreamed about. And some of them you know in real life. These are people that are in the dimension you live in currently. And let's say you try and walk up to one of these people and reminisce on very recent, very intense, memorable circumstances that both of you were in, that there is no chance in hell either of you would be forgetting about anytime soon. And out of their mouth coming, what the fuck are you talking about? None of this happened. You are insane. And I go, no. Wow. This is all stuff that really did happen. Just in another dimension that you also exist in. That you have no conscious awareness of. And only I get to remember what we did. What did you dream about? And furthermore, for the record, is there any way in the future, perhaps, for the idealization of humanity, that perhaps we could bring these mental cyclones from memories through these experiences we had in other dimensions into electrical domes that can fit on our head, that can read our electricity through these, like in Ghostbusters, when when uh, they find Gozar, the gatekeeper, uh, the gatekeeper, and they put that metal bowl full of holes, like a popcorn bowl around his head, strainer of some kind, and they can see what he imagizes himself as, and he is able to replicate what he says through words into the screen that Egon is looking at in disbelief, disgust, and all these other emotions I care not say, that I care not know, that I would like to know, but I don't, so I'm not going to say. And he's, he says, Gozar the Traveler will come in one of the pre-chosen forms during the third reconciliation of the Valdrani. He came as a large and moving torb. Then, during the sixth reconciliation of the last of the Matrekic supplicants, he came as a giant slore. Many shrubs and Zuuls knew what it was to be roasted in the depths of the slore. That day, I can tell you. And right then, he speaks of this profound knowledge that only he has. Of this dimension that exists. And just because it only exists in his mind, it appears to exist in his mind, in another dimension. And to all fuckos standing around in the room, appears fucking crazy. But no less crazy than anyone else who has anything to say about their knowledge of what the Matrix has displayed for them. That is why I always care to hear what people who have dreamed about me have to say happened in their dreams involving me. Even if it's something like, yeah, you got mauled by a bear. You tried your best. You know, it can be anything. And this is shit that people can say to you with a genuine knowledge of a dimension, a universal dimension, that right now, at this point in time, we don't know how to access yet. Like a physical world, like we all exist in now, like we all know we exist in now. In the future, we're going to be able to know and understand as as nonchalantly and subtle as we understand this world and everyone else in it, and how we know things to come to be are certainty, such as I know what it's going to sound like when I knock on this, I know what this is going to feel like, but about certainties about one another, and had access to these grid planes of consciousness that we all go without without any real knowledge yet about where we go when we dream. But we know this is a place we all go for about 1/3 of our lives. Everyone. And it's a place that is just as real and concrete as this world. And there are many undiscerned reasons why we can't remember clearly when we transfer dimensions, when the process in which, even as many times as our being, as our consciousness, as our soul has transferred through these transcendings, even then don't quite understand why we don't know shit, but we're going to. If there's anything I'm ever gonna get into doing, it's gonna be, to the best of my knowledge, with the technology at the farthest reach of my fingertips, with the best knowledge that I have, to be able to grant people a greater, deeper knowledge, eventually getting to the point where the dream world is just as concrete as this world. And Egon and his brilliant idea in Ghostbusters will be an actual thing that you can do beyond him looking at it on a computer screen. What I mean by that, holy shit, I don't even know if I'm making sense right now. I, by the way, about 5 hours ago just came out of this I don't know what happened to me, but it was significant. And what I mean by that is, beyond Egon looking at this appearingly cybernetic individual world by that person that is being transmitted through this device, can create around the two people, or however many connected, can transmute and translate all of that energy of their being in this dimension and make that present in, at this point in time, everyone who's jacked in right then's perception, but eventually able to jack all that in to the rest of the world and to the rest of everybody else, and all the dimensions of everybody's consciousness, from within dreams, from all these places that people are that only they know about, and connecting that into one giant grid world that everybody exists in. And at this point in time, that grid would fall non-linear to dimensions like time. And I think our human consciousness, which mine is already seeming to ascend, would accelerate into ways far more infinite than we could ever perceive now. And this, I believe, is not very far in the future.